Hey.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey, listen, you're my favorite. I'm ready to go. Hey, talk to me. I'm ready to go.
Are you
I'm ready to
ready to
go.
go? Okay.
I'm
You
ready
got
to
a
go. My
mid-season
notes
and
are
warm-up,
loaded.
did you, huh?
No. I don't need to warm up. We're in the conversation I need to be in. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to warm up. Someone's got my energy, baby. Okay, the temperature's at looking like 60 degrees over here. Okay, all right. I'm ready. Talk to me. Love the hair, by the way. Love the hat. Delectable, Sean. But listen, it's that gap. No, stop drinking. Anyway, listen. So, no, but listen. This episode was it. It was it. It was a beautiful concoction of I think what we've been talking about the last few weeks, right? And I think this really does highlight something about summer, right? Look, we've been talking about anger for the past few weeks, have we not? Since Ready to Love, we've been talking about anger. It keeps coming up. Because what actually ends up happening is people like Summer are like myself as well. When we hold in a lot of the tension that we're feeling, right? Eventually it's going to blow up in your face because you're holding a lot of tension, right? And once that tension snaps, if you're not used to communicating with people, you just blow up. You just blow up. And I get it. Summer's going through a lot right now. You know, she's explained that she's going through a lot. She said that Jordan's going through her thing. Preston's going through his thing. And so she's had nowhere to really share some of the sentiments that she's feeling and the heaviness that she's carrying at the moment. But let me be honest with you. That anger, whilst I understand it, the way she flipped out, and she has been flipping out on a few people now. It's Noel, it's Brie, it's Shanice. You've got a pattern. This is more than just what you're going through, Summer. We have to start dealing with some of the root cause issues here. The inability to explain how you actually feel is beyond you not having the confidence with Jordan and Preston. This is actually to do with the fact that you don't do well when you're sitting with negative feelings. When people are unable to sit in their negative feelings because they're feeling things, then they don't know how to express themselves very well. It becomes anger, and it begins to infect the way they operate with people. Right? I also about emotional regulation. And emotional regulation, this part is called when I can't express, I will express physically. When you can't express verbally, you will express physically. For those of us who have lost a voice, the next thing to do when you can't voice how you feel, when you feel like you're clogged up and choked up, is that you're going to act. And in that moment, she actually held no space for. And by the way, I'm not even defending Brie because Brie was taunting her from earlier on at the pool. I can't lie to you. That was the last episode. Brie was doing too much at the pool. And again, this is going back to the same thing with Jordan. It's a pattern with Summer. Instead of addressing Jordan when you're more calm and addressing her and saying, "Look, I don't like what you did at what you did last time," it blows up and it becomes a massive argument with Jordan. Then now with Brie at the pool, I understand Brie was antagonizing a little bit. You know, I don't know why Brie was getting all hyped about the situation. Don't come at me. I'm not coming at you. I'm just telling you. I want to finish my point. And then she made it hype. Then you have to address it with Brie when you're at a more emotionally calm place and address that with her. She doesn't. So what happens? She's drunk, just like she was with Jordan, and then it comes out. Because why? Your inhibition and your walls and your defenses and your guards that you put up that you don't like sharing things suddenly comes down, right? And then we get a moment where we say, well, I was drunk and I hadn't eaten all day and that's why I blew up. No. You had this, it's been building, and the drink has become an excuse for you now to come out what really is in your heart and how you really feel. And I felt for Summer, but I'm going to say this, you're going to lose friends if you keep this way up. If you keep this up, you're going to lose friends. Because people are gonna say, I don't want to be on tiptoes around you. Shanice, I don't know if there was a picture of her. Was it a picture of Summer? The Shanice picture that she on the phone? That her and Noel were joking about? Was it a picture of Summer? I wasn't sure if it was a picture of Summer. Was it a picture? Or was this a picture they were showing? It
No,
wasn't, was it, right?
they were taking pictures of each.
Of each other.
Denise was taking a picture of Noel in the wig.
So now, look what's gonna happen. If someone gets to watch this, I want them to pay attention to this. If your friends can't even take a photo around you, and you can't blow, and you're gonna blow up, and I know she had a reason for it because she felt like, you know what, the friendships have, you know, kind of, she felt like she didn't have that lightness in her friendship. People are gonna start saying, I don't want to be around you. You ever been in that situation where people run away from you before you come around? It's not a good feeling, right? You don't want to be in that position where people don't want to be around you, where people don't want to be close to you, where people like every time we get close to you, you start firing when you're frustrated. I need someone to rein it in because it's getting a bit too much now. Okay, all right, and people are going to remember this. So they may not spend every day with you because you're going to go back to your various lives, but they're going to remember this, and they're going to be like, I remember how I felt around Summer. You can't be comfortable around her. One minute she's like this, next minute she's telling you that he was inside me. So we've got too many things that are going on with Summer at the moment because she likes to hold it in, and then when she's ready to, she blows up on your face. It's not good for anybody in that friendship. Just my little initial break-in.
I know you were a bit late, so you missed me saying in the beginning
We
that.
cussing her out too?
Oh no, we were just getting into it, just getting into it as you came. But as I had labeled this whole episode, because Sean had gave me an idea last week, I'm gonna start giving each episode a drink name. So this
Ooh, come on now.
episode is the Incredible Hulk.
Is that drinks like that?
That's Hennessy and Hypnotic, or sometimes Alizé and Hypnotic, or whatever. But it's usually a cognac with Hypnotic or whatnot, and it turns green.
We gotta have a hurricane. Woo, that hurricane hits
That
too.
hurricane coming
That-
up.
that
It ain't
probably-
quite there yet, but it next week probably be the hurricane of it or whatever. But this week I did it for the Incredible Hulk because Freaknick, of course, it was popular around the time Freaknick was popular, as well as that same thing you're talking about is that change of emotion with the actual Incredible Hulk character from Marvel. You know what I'm saying? That we go from being radical, rational type person to totally insane, and we can't deal with our emotions over the little bit is the slightest of inconsistency or slightest of emotion that we get that is not favorable to us. And that's what Summer is unfortunately displaying. And the names that you had went off on that she's giving it to, you just said, is Noel, Shanice, Bria. Those are not the people that's causing you, again, the negative energy. You said the negative energy is coming from mostly Preston and Jordan and how you were balancing all of their emotions. And just before you came, I was telling Sean, the reason I don't give her the pass on the whole family dynamic that she's going through is because, again, you're taking the family dynamic stuff that you're going through. You're taking the Preston, you're taking the Jordan information that you're receiving from these people, and you're putting it out on people who had nothing to do with it. You're giving it to people who you feel are lighthearted and good energy. Why are you giving those people hell instead of the people that is the ones that's actually causing you the misery and turmoil? Why you can't stand your ground with Jordan and Preston and tell them how they actually making you feel, and that they're draining and they're toxic friends. Instead, you rather go and make somebody else friend group dynamic toxic. You rather go into a happy space and try to ruin their happiness. Why? So it's hard for me to give you a pass in this situation because you're purposely, intentionally going around trying to make other people's lives miserable just because you are sitting in your own misery. So that was my little tidbit before you walked in. Sean hasn't been able to give his, so go ahead, Sean.
Well, I don't even know what to say now. But yeah, Jay was not hearing my plea for empathy for Summer. I wasn't giving her a complete pass though. It was just more context. You know, like sometimes you find out something and it helps explain somebody's behavior. So that for me helped me to understand her a little bit better in terms of why she behaves the way she behaves. Because sometimes we see people act out and we just want to reduce it to, you know, they're just miserable, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to hear like what's driving this, what's the problem, and so you know, there's more often layers. So I was, you know, interested to see the layers, and then hearing her story, it is hurtful because it's one thing where someone doesn't have a relationship with their dad, that is hurtful, but to not even know them and to also know the conditions under which you were conceived. To me, I guess I've always had like a pretty picture of my conception, right? My parents got married. You know, unfortunately, their marriage didn't work out, but they were married. They were in love. There's a love story. So for me, that is a central part of my frame of reference of how I was brought into this world. To know not only does your mom have an addiction issue, but you were the you were the result of a one-night stand, and your mom really can't even deduce who your dad is. That just, my heart goes out to her. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just brush that aside. That is very, very, that's life altering to me, at least. Now, how you behave is your responsibility once you become an adult. But understanding that is the genesis of how you were created gives her origin story. And to me, I just really feel sad for her, because that has to be a difficult existence. Again, doesn't excuse her behavior, doesn't give her a pass, but helps us to understand why she reacts the way she does, why she lashes out. Having one parent that has addiction issues by itself is a very, very difficult thing to navigate, you know? So my heart goes out for her, because that is a very, I just feel bad, honestly. However, I think Summer needs, knowing what she knows now as a fully grown adult, she has to do some work to stop lashing out, stop going off for people, stop making it about them, and understand that she's got to look in that mirror and do some work.
And not to take away from her childhood and anything, like I said, and not to compare her with mine, because it's not the same. But we've gone through things. We've all gone through different things in our childhood. We all happen to have a very good 2-parent home that has just been healthy all the way around, perfect parenthood. Our parents make mistakes. Our parents are humans, are imperfect humans as well. Those type of stories help us have empathy for our parents, not shape our behavior on how we should lash out, because once we get the news or whatever and stuff. I understand, like, I not to put anybody business, but I know somebody who is basically a child in that same circumstance, that the people around want to tell him, but they don't want to ruin anything when he was doing anything good. You feel me? They don't want him to lash out. And I think, to me personally, I think that's a kind of a bad thing to sit there and keep that information still in, because the day he does find out, it's going to be like, y'all been sitting on this information for all these years, and he's still going to probably have the same reaction that they was trying to avoid in the first place. But if you sit down the child and actually go through it with them and explain to them, hey, though this was your mom's situation, I'm your grandmother, I still loved you. I took you in so I don't have to lose you to the court system, so you can still have a tie to your mom, this, that, and the third. Yes, not sure who your dad is. And like I said, I know this story too well. This story right here hits very much at home, because it is the same story personally somebody in my family literally is going through. But I have yet to see that person lash out and act out in this manner behind the truths that they know, because it's just not in them. It's this hatred, this anger is not bred in them. And if it was in them, it was worked out as a child. So whatever Summer's going through right now is still not an excuse, because this is not something really new. It's new to us, but it's not really new to her. And again, if you trust any of these people in this house, or if you have anybody that is close to you, that person should know what's going on with you. Now, clearly you'd have made real close friendships with both Jordan and Preston, but you can't rely on them to give this information to. So Noel would be your next best thing. Yet you want to take every second you get to attack Noel, instead of saying, hey, girl, I really need you to be a friend to me right now, opposed to all these people up in the house, because I am going through something. And that's something that's what I was about to get into. Us strong people that like to hold things in and not be a burden, like she kept saying to other people. That's something that we actually do need to learn, that sometimes we, in being strong, can blow up because we're holding our information, everybody else's information, and we come to a breaching point where it just spill all out, and the closest people to us get it, and it's not fair. So before we get there, we have to find some means of outlets for ourselves that help. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to have somebody. It don't have to be a close friend or whatever, therapy, whatever the case may be. We need somebody. What the heck is LC talking about? This to you, Sean.
Hmm?
I don't know what else they're talking about, but that's to you.
Where? I don't see it. Oh, when in Rome said, "Send me one of these sweatshirts, but it better not smell like Creed." So I told her it's gonna smell like Bulgari wood essence. So that's must be what else it is talking about.
I'm done. I'm done. I was like, what? Nah, but I say all that to say is just we just need, as strong people or people that hold everybody else's stuff, we just need to find ourselves our own outlets. If you have to pay for the therapy, if you can get another friend to be that dumping post that you can get rid of everybody else's toxic waste that they put on you, whatever the case may be, we need our own outlet too. Journal, something, letters to God. I don't know, but she needs something. Because you can't keep holding all of this information in and then blowing up on people, and they don't know why you blowing up. Poor Noel was running back and forth and didn't understand what she was running back and forth for. Every 5 seconds, I'm sorry, don't take this out. I'm just taking a picture. I'm not even thinking about it. The poor girl running herself crazy while Summer is literally getting a kick out of it at this point. Because I'm like, she's chasing you, and that's what you want. She's chasing you through the house, and you're hoping somebody else start chasing with you. This is crazy.
Now, Jay, I don't know. Summer didn't look like she wanted to be chased by Noel. I'm just saying that looked like, I think Noel needs to just backpack a little bit. I appreciate Noel's heart. I love her to pieces. She's the person that everybody wants to be around. Like, I would take her in a heartbeat on any group trip because she's just a good, fun time. She wants peace. She means no harm. But I don't think Summer wanted her chasing her. That look on Summer's face was like, leave, leave, back. And she gave Noel some grace because she knows Noel, one, is her friend, and two, that she knows Noel's heart, I think, in that moment. But she looked like she was ready to, and I know you didn't watch the season, but Jacqueline said it too. But she reminded me, Kojo, didn't she remind you of Michaela when she tore up that house? When she was about to wreck shop.
Now I seen that part shine when she went through the pool table.
She was upturning things, boy.
Up, boy. So that looked like the energy Summer was on. So I think Noel, as much as sometimes you got to let people go. And I think that, and not let them go in life, but you got to know, like, her heart, she wanted to over explain. And I just know too, like, when somebody is so escalated, you just got to let her. Just, if she wants to turn up, you need to let her run loose. And whatever's going to happen, that's going to be on her, because you can't stop that. And sometimes Summer is very volatile. You're going to catch a stray eventually. So I think she should have I wanted Noel to just stop chasing her in that moment and just let her be, because it didn't look like she wanted to be chased. Because usually somebody kind of, when somebody is like, don't let me fight, don't let me, hold me back, don't hold me back. They kind of give that push and pull. There was all push, no pull when it came to Summer.
Now, the only reason I said she wanted to be chased is because she went past the group and then circled right back past the group. Whenever you do that, it's Summer. I mean, Noel's trying to escort her outside all the way. Let's go all the way inside, get some fresh air. She went her, and I get it. She don't want to be chased by Noel, but she wanted somebody else to jump in as well, because you come right back to the group screaming the same stuff again. Like, girl. Now, I have my moments when I don't want to be chased, and literally I'm getting away from everybody. I'm going outside, and then I'm going to scream at you, please stop following me. But I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to explain to nobody. So therefore, I'm not doubling back and keep circling the rest of the group like, hey, come ask about my problem. And that's why I said she was feeling like she was wanted to be chased. Now, I agree with you on the Noel, like, you got to back up a little bit. Gotta back up just a little bit. But when she kept doubling back to the rest of the group, I was like, Summer, now, just go on outside. Go sit by the jacuzzi. Go do anything. Just get out the house. Now you're going back up the stairs. Now you're coming back down the stairs. Get out the house. Just get out. Just get out.
I mean, you know what? It's interesting. I think the situation with Summer. I feel like, she's on I say this in general. Anybody going through a blow up, anybody who's had those kind of moments, your blow up is an indication that you are overwhelmed. Okay, and the positive you can take from it is that you're finally angry enough to take some action, right? Which means you do need to confront the issues that are within you and what you're feeling, right? So if anybody's had a blow up or you've had a moment where you've gone over the top of the hill, it's an indication that you've had enough. You're overwhelmed. Boundaries have been broken, and maybe your boundaries haven't been very good in the first place, right? Or maybe you've not been able to express yourself in the way you need to express yourself. Now, I think the funny thing about Noel and Summer is because I'm seeing that avoidant, anxious relationship loop happening all over again. Because Noel, obviously, like herself, the dad issue too, she mentioned herself. And I felt like she really overcompensated for Summer, because when you're having to apologize for a photo that was never about her, when you're having to chase her around the house, when this is not the first time, even you've done this, the first time too, someone was disrespectful to you. You know what I'm saying to you? By letting you know that she was trying to make sense of the fact that she didn't let you know why she didn't tell you about a man that she was sleeping with, but sent you to the gallows and to the gulag and let you go. And you had to chase her because she felt some type of way, well, about Bria, obviously, but you went and cooled her down. So we can see what's happening here. It's the classic avoidant, anxious situation. The anxious person's always trying to pull the avoidant back in. The avoidant's always trying to run away. And the avoidant loves when the anxious person chases after them. Let me just be real with you. I know some people don't want to say it. She loved that moment that someone was chasing after, that Noel was chasing after her. I'll tell you why. Because if she really didn't want it to be around, she would have turned to Noel and said, Noel, touch me again and we're all going to lose. She'll let her know straight then, I don't want no one touching me. But she liked the little chase because there's avoidance oftentimes where we don't know any other way how to get attention apart from manipulation. So in that moment of us scooting out the building, making a noise, dropping things, really is about actually getting attention. And so you're looking for someone to kind of see you, right? So Noel does that very, very well. But Noel's also getting something from this too, right? She needs to feel needed. She needs to feel liked. She needs to feel like she's doing something, right? So that's why she did the most in that moment. Because let me tell you this now. If you start making a mad scene after we taking a photo and had nothing to do with you, and I'm going to be apologizing as if we took a photo of you and made laughter about you, you're not going to get my reaction. I'm going to be like, you're actually moving mad. Let them go, man. What's wrong with them? I'm just not going to be in a space for it. But Noel didn't want to do that, right? Shanice didn't run after her. Shanice, I already have my beef with her. I'm going to stay on this bed right now. I ain't involved, okay? At one point, Shanice even closed the door and said, let's lock this door before she comes back in the yard. But, just for anybody out there, that relationship is happening between, and that's why I'm saying that someone needs to pay attention, because some of us are avoidance, myself, we're kind of selfish in those kind of relationships, right? Because we get people that feed us and that help us. But I'm telling you now, it takes a toll on the other person. And Noel needs, when Noel gets the light bulb moment and she realizes actually this relationship is not working for me and I'm constantly in a place of deficit and I'm no longer serviced by chasing you when you get emotional, this relationship is going to lose. It's going to be B. Simone and Megan all over again. That same relationship is going to happen again. The person's going to get tired. They're going to leave the relationship. And I think my last point is just to say as well that, I did feel for Summer though, in those moments. So it's not a case of bashing Summer, but it is a case of you have to take accountability and you are going to be responsible for the consequences that you've actually enlisted. So we can offer you grace. We can always appreciate. We can create a safe zone later on, but there are going to be consequences if you keep doing this, right? And sometimes that can mean relationships are changed forever. So just my little sentiments.
Well, we already know how us three gonna handle it. Sit and bust out laughing in the back of the car while we tell people to walk the highway. So
throw them in the pool first, boy. It's given Jamaica. It's given Houston. It's given Jamaica.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
I don't think it's ever gotten that crazy because Summer put her hands on Noel, it would have gone sideways, and that's why I think, like, as much as I understand Noel's trying to help, once she puts your hands on you and you see, you have to be able to identify clues. And I just feel like once somebody looks at you, she looked at her And I mean, I hear what you're saying, Kojo, in terms of she might have wanted to chase. I don't know that I saw anger in her face. I saw her. It's like, you know, when you see an animal trapped, and I hate to compare it to animal, but when you see it backed into a corner, it does everything to get out of the scenario. And she was looking very volatile. And when I saw her push Noel, that for me was enough indication that she just might not want all that attention that she's given her now. Maybe she likes being considered, because that was the biggest part of it for her, is she felt left out. She felt jealous of the fact that they were forming a bond that she was left out of. But I saw her wanting to be out of that space for whatever reason, because there would be nothing that Noel could say to change her mind. Once somebody gets from 0 to 100 that quickly, they've already made the decision in their head about what the scenario was. You guys are laughing at me. This picture was about me. I'm isolated out of this friendship. There's no reselling her on the point that she's already made in her head. And I feel like Noel and all this hugging and loving, and I'm trying to change, and I'm trying to, you know, change her mind. It was just making her more and more and more and more and more upset. And she looked like she was just trying to go from one door to the next, one door to the next. How the hell can I get out of here? And Shanice was the smartest I've ever seen her be, which was to close that door, because she might have spun right back around to get to her and Bria. And that wouldn't have been good.
Now, which push are we referring to? The one downstairs or the one to go out the room? Because the one to go out the room didn't make no sense to me, because it wasn't a real shove either. And it was making a comment towards Bria, like, are you happy now? I pushed Noel. I didn't understand what that was about. I'm like, what you and Bria been talking about? Why you got to push Noel and pick a side?
I think that was her way of saying, like, look what you caused. It's her not accepting responsibility for her actions. And it's like, she's now assigning everything that escalated onto Bria. Now, see, look what happened.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was like the weirdest, because you push her in the same token you're saying, see, I pushed her. It's like, it's given that high school, like, you don't never take up for me, because that's what Bria was telling her. You don't take up for me. And then all of a sudden she pushed Noel and said, see, I pushed her. And I was like, but she don't even have a problem with Noel. So why would you even push Noel? Which made absolutely no sense.
I associated it like she's saying, see how you caused things to escalate. It's Summer's way in my head of avoiding responsibility. She's like, you let things go, you let things bubble and escalate. Now, because of you and your antics, which is partly true, because Bria knows how to like light a little match and get drama going. But it's not Bria's responsibility that you put your hands on your friend. So she's like, see what happened? See what happened, Bria? Now I had to go and push Noel. You know, so that's how I understood it.
Yeah, I didn't understand it like that, because even when she said it wasn't, see, I had to go and push Noel. She was like, I pushed Noel, you happy? Right after Bria says, nobody has my back, nobody's on my side. That's about Mariah. That's not about Noel. And on top of it, she had Noel's back. Bria had Noel's back, so she don't want you to push Noel. She been on team Noel when it came to why you didn't tell her about Alex. So it didn't make no sense. Again, that's just Summer just trying to take out, oh, now I just want a reason to put my hands on Noel for some reason. That's what I got from that. Because Noel has nothing to do with any of the other prior beefs that going on with Bria and Mariah. She don't have nothing that went on between Bria and Summer. She wasn't there last year. The only beef that is started right now is about the Alex thing, and that's Summer and Noel. That's Summer and Noel. So is that your excuse? I can put my hands on Noel now just because I can make a point to Bria to see I pushed my friend? Well, that sounds like a drunk person doing what they want to do and saying they speaking their mind now that they drunk. You're making any excuse to put your hands on Noel now. That's still not justifiable for anything that you're doing. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, Sean, but I'm just like getting it out. Like, you're doing a whole bunch of things that make no sense when the real root of your problem does not stem with any of these three ladies. Let's be honest. It does not stem with any of these three ladies. You have issues with Jordan. You have issues possibly with Preston. You have issues with your parents. You have issues with Alex. However, you've not taken out any of those issues with any of those people, or you resolve them with ease. Yet you're sitting here taking out on the 3 lightest people that you say, quote unquote, you say the lightest people around. Why? Because you're jealous? We got to get you some help for that, because you're going to keep turning away all the friends that ever try to be that for you, because all they get is the hot-tempered, mean girl, mean-spirited Summer. They don't get the light, fun Summer. Even Alex said at this thing, he was like, man, I missed Summer of last year. She came in easy breezy and all this stuff like that. And this, I don't know who this is. So you act like you're the only one that's in this house going through things. You know that Preston lost his dad. You know that Jordan's dealing with the alopecia. You know that Shanice has lost her job and fighting a court case or whatever. You know all of this about the people. You know now that Jasmine is pregnant and her husband is not around. Majority of the people in your life, you know, is all going through something. Why are you the only one allowed to act out? I don't know. Okay, I got you.
I definitely hear you, Jay. I think, like I said, I just think she's got a poor way of dealing with her own emotions, and her going through stuff is the excuse of the poor behavior. You know what I mean? It's the excuse to give her license to behave out of sorts. She's angry, and that's so. And listen, anger in itself is not an issue. You know, the Bible says, be angry, sin not. Your anger is not the issue, Summer. It is what you do with the anger, right? And so Summer being somebody who clogs up all her emotions is finding herself in a situation where now there is no deposit to kind of keep the gremlins away, right? The gremlins are out in full force because now you can't share 1 or 2 tidbits that would usually keep the edge off. And it's because you haven't dealt with the root cause. Yes, you know, you've got abandonment issues. Yes, you know, you didn't know who your dad is. Yes, the mum situation's an addict. But you have to deal with the root cause of the fact that these things have happened, how much pain that you're actually in. And because that's sitting at the bottom of everything, anytime pressure's applied, it touches directly on that past old childhood wound, and that comes up as a gremlin. But you've always had people that would help you out, right? Preston and Jordan. You'd be able to say 1 or 2 things to them, and it would kind of cool you down for a while, but you were only dealing with the branches. You were never dealing with the roots. So now the 2 people that would help prune your branches to stop the anger from exploding and becoming an expressive behavior, they're no longer there. So the garden is growing wild right now. This tree is growing outwardly in a wild way because it's not being pruned. And so now you're touching people that you shouldn't be touching. And now you're in a situation where you're almost fighting Noel, right? And then trying to blame someone else for it, you know? And then you're having spats with people here and there. And again, it comes down to, we need to deal with the root issue. There is a deep core pain that you are feeling in this moment, and you need to deal with it in order to get to a place where your behavior is not so reactionary, right? So we're not reactive, all right? We're responsive, but we're not reactive. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be responsive. I respond, but I respond in a manner of a measured response. I know how to handle me. And I just feel like she hasn't got there yet. And I hope she gets there quickly, because the behavior is becoming alarming. You know, it's becoming alarming. You know, at this point, you know, you almost dashed Noel to the side. I mean, and it wasn't that deep either. So yeah, just a little something, you know.
Yeah. Any other thoughts before we shift the convo? Sean, I don't know if you're still here, because I know you was taking Abby out.
I'm here. I'm in the
Okay.
background.
You got any more thoughts before we shift it?
Just she needs serious therapy, you know, and not just like light work, but like therapy with the understanding of what she wants to get to the root cause of, and also understanding her role in some of the issues that are created. Because if she just goes to therapy, she might get a lot of sympathy from the therapist knowing her background, but she also needs to go in there with an idea of, I want to own some of the issues that I have created and understanding why I react the way I do. Because if she doesn't give the therapist that information, they're not going to be able to fully help her resolve some of these issues that we're seeing.
Indeed. Well said. All right. Well, the audience has spoken. They want us to shift to Natalie and Amir. And this whole situationship, that's what I'm gonna have to call that there, because I don't know what's happening between this one-sided love. Okay. And this is where I definitely would feel like loving a woman this much more might be a little bit wrong. I ain't gonna say that you don't love her a little bit more, but this much more, we borderline and some RTL people with this much love for this person, okay? Because yeah. Exactly. Amir and his boss. That's exactly what it is, because that's what is definitely given at this. My girl has no coverage for Amir. She do not care about this man. I'm sorry. I don't know what her intentions or her end goal is with Amir, but it doesn't seem like it's a healthy relationship. Not at all. And I know in real estate it's a little bit more different. They try to have people as couples in real estate. They like to have family oriented businesses and all this stuff, but I don't know about him working for her and dating her at the same time is going to be good, especially with her nature. I'm going to say in a nice way, because she is giving a bit masculine energy. She is giving big dictatorship. She is definitely giving a lot of jealousy and possessiveness. And again, she does not cover this man. You are in the midst of his friends the very first time, and you're going to just bring down how much money he makes compared to how much you make. And you just smiling away, just and I'm, at first I was like, why these women don't like you, but I'm starting to think they don't like the way you treat their friend more than anything, outside of Jordan, because I'm still trying to figure out why you don't like this girl when you don't like this man. But then on the flip side, Amir, you talk too much. You talk too much and you say the wrong thing. So I'm wondering what you going back and telling both parties, because we hear you telling your girlfriend how basically Shanice was trying to hit on you and all this. And I was like, when was Shanice trying to hit on you? Shanice show her boobies to everybody. Shanice just stay naked. That ain't hitting on you. Excuse us? And you was hitting on Jordan every chance you got. So I don't know. You making this woman jealous more than she already is not a good thing either. Anyway, Coach, you want to go ahead and take on? You're on mute before you start.
Where do we start? I want to make some deductions. So they are my opinions. Okay. All right. Just for anybody out there. From what I saw, I got an instinctual feeling. And what you said, I definitely heard it, right? Now, I already said this. I felt like the last episode, the way she behaved on the phone, the lack of ability to be able to tell him how she really felt, using that little bit of manipulation where you try to, make the faces and not be actually clear cut about actually how you feel. I didn't really like that already, right? It wasn't clear cut. It wasn't direct. Now, on this particular episode, I had a range of feelings. At the very beginning, I felt kind of sorry for her. Came in the house and none of the girls wanted to be around her. And I was like, wait, I thought, I didn't know, they had never, none of them had actually really fully met her apart from, was it Summer, right? Summer had met her and said that she's a little bit cold towards her. And, they explained that in the car about how Summer's a little bit touchy-feely and she didn't like the fact that Summer's touchy-feely. Okay. But nobody wanted to really go and see her. And I was like, maybe they did later on. I don't know. But it felt like they alienated her from the very, very beginning. Okay, cool. So I felt sorry for her in that part, right? Now, when it got to the event at Preston's event, I said, what is going on? I said, maybe she's had too much to drink. And, the madness is coming out. Because when you're when your man downplays himself because he wants to big you up, right? So he's gonna down say, listen, hey, look, I deal with normal clientele, but my babes, this one here is doing the millionaires. This one here is doing the big boys. This one here is doing, you know, the $1 million houses and stuff like that, right? Okay, cool. So then for her to add on, and I can't remember exactly what she even said. She just kind of said, she's like, yeah, I do what he does in a month. Like after, she's like, I do whatever he does in a month.
Exactly what she said. She has said.
Thank you. Oh.
She said he does underneath $1 million. I do over 2 million. So what he does in a year, I do in a month.
In a month. Can we just take a moment for that? Sometimes it's how you say something that can get you into trouble. Okay? It's a bit like the Amanda Seal situation, but hey, we'll leave that alone. But it's sometimes how you say something, right? Because she is doing more than what he's doing, right? And he gave you the platform for it, right? And now in social circles, this is what we call the setup. And the setup is to respond by, no, babe, you know what? You know, he's great at what he does. Yes, he's right. I do the certain clientele, but he's amazing at what he does. You spin it back to a party too, and it covers the both of you. Right? It shows that you guys are a team. It shows you value each other. It shows that there's no competition between the two of you, right? When you both elevate each other and big each other up. She missed that opportunity and then exposed him. And especially with men, and because men oftentimes are valued by the financial pool, this definitely didn't look good. Like if this was the other way around, we were like, this is not really great he did that. Like he shouldn't have done that. It's kind of embarrassing for his wife, right? But women oftentimes are not measured by the finances. So it hits different. But when your man is measured by the amount of money comes in, because that's just how we are in the world, right? That literally was the moment where I said, I don't know if she respects him fully, right? And because obviously she's a boss as well, this is going to be very techie. Right, very, very techy, because you got to navigate the space very carefully, because things can easily spill into workplace. Now, if they were just two people on the same level, they might have a better chance. But now someone's a boss and saying this as well at the same time, that's gonna be very painful for the other party. Also, that also then says as well that Amir, too, what kind of conversations you're gonna have behind the scenes? How are you gonna set some boundaries after this? Because, brother, that exposure right there to the rest of the group, they may not say anything to your face, but you know behind your back, some of us heard it and was like, oh, that girl don't respect him, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? So, got to be very, very careful in that space. But I was a little bit disappointed in the fact she exposed him like that. And then she said something really interesting. If you listen to what she said, because she's a boss, I understand that. She said about him joining her team. I don't know if you had that down just in case, Jay, but she said obviously, oh, he's joining my team. And I said, I know she's a boss, but again, because of social setting and context, right, conversation needs to be tailored. Now, if this was at work, it's different. It's a work context. It is her team. Therefore, it's not wrong. It's context. But because we're in an environment of friends and family, when you say it like that, it sounds like it sounds like you're on my grind, you're on my wave, I'm putting you on, basically. You know what I'm saying to you? And then to further couple on the last one, Amir actually gave away his power in this situation too, because it got to a point where they asked, and this is so funny because women usually are the ones who are normally telling you what it is, relationship wise, when they asked Amir and her, oh, so what's next for you guys? And she had the opportunity to say, oh, like the relationship wise, me and him, I think we're really thinking about marriage. We're thinking about this. She didn't mention none of that. She said, listen, old boy, we're joining my team. She had a work mind. And he was like, well, I'm thinking about engagement. I said, well, the roles are reversed here, because usually women are the ones that are saying, I'm looking for a marriage, but you've got Amir in that situation. So at this point, Amir, you're going to have to look at the situation too and what's going on. And she needs to figure out whether she actually really respects him fully, because some of the way she talks about him in a certain way doesn't sound like it. I want to give it a bit of a benefit of doubt. I don't want to go too heavy on her, because the first time I've seen her on the actual show in this context. But if we see something else, that was 2 or 3 times that were a little bit shady, go for it, Jay.
I'm just gonna say I felt a little bad for her because I was just like, I don't understand how you ladies can't just greet people coming into the house regardless.
Mm.
Y'all supposed to be friends. It should be easy for me to just say hi to you, introduce you, whatever stuff. I don't have no feelings towards your man. I never try to hit on your man. Your man's trying to hit on me. I could sit there and speak to you. It is not a problem. I was glad to see Jordan do it later on. She did do it later on, but initially it was crazy. But Amir, please watch your girlfriend because she was snooping around the corners when that interaction with Jordan was going on. When he's over here trying to introduce you, then she's like, "Oh, your phone is ringing," so that means she was checking your phones as well. Um, how do you set boundaries from here? I have no idea because clearly she's overstepping them in every which way possible. And now that she's your boss, she's going to make the boundaries for you. You're not going to have any, but she's going to have them in place for you or whatnot. Um, I wish he was established where he wasn't joining her team to start his career or whatnot. Because I just don't think it's a good look for you to be working under her while dating her, and she is in this type of headspace. She's not in a healthy headspace. She's not. And you clearly are not either. You were to recognize that and been able to like know that nip a lot of this in the bud before we even got here. But here we are. One thing is gonna have to give. The relationship gonna have to give, or the job is gonna have to give. I'm honestly said is both of them are not gonna exist in coexist. I just don't see it happening in this state right now. Because soon she's not getting her way, guess what? Something gonna be a problem. And I mean, it doesn't matter which side. If she's not getting away at work, it's gonna be a problem at home. If she's not getting away at home, it's gonna be a problem at work. Now, one thing about her is she clearly does put her money first, so she might be business 24/7 with you. She might do business 24/7 with you. But I also noticed that when she sat there and was asked what's next, and she went into the business mind first. I said, "Oh, she's doing this is all for a relationship of structure. This is a business relationship. There's no love there. She likes that she could control you. That's what she like. I'll be back. But she likes that you're being controlled by her. That's what she likes. So I don't know. I think in this regard, Shanice's advice to take your time before you jump into a marriage with this lady would be the best bet. Like really work things out, see how is it going for a while, because it's not looking good. I'm just gonna say it like that. It's not looking good. It says you're on here, coach, but your device is not connected. So but I think he needs to take his time moving forward. And you know what? This way he was standing on 10 about giving that apology to Mariah and Bria for that situation, he need to stand on 10 about making his boundaries with his girlfriend, because maybe it's about to walk all over you and then go ahead and leave you in the dust. And then you mess around and have no relationship and no job at the end of the day. So I need him to stand on 10 like he did for that apology and go ahead and build some boundaries with his lady right now, because it's not looking too good at all or whatnot. Since we are here, I don't know if you have anything else to say about the relationship before I switch it to him and this apology to Mariah and Bria. Now, he said he don't feel like he owed them an apology, but I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
What Amir, when he did the whole the washing and stuff, and then it caused the issue. I mean, listen, if you know that an action caused a beef between two people, it's just a general principle, just to be like, guys, I'm sorry you guys fell out. The washing machine situation was my fault. I caused that issue, and I'm sorry that's caused an issue between you two. That's it. But the fact he's not going to offer no apology, well, if you're not going to be able to see that how your actions also contributed towards something, and it's not to say that he's the main reason why these two decided to Maria fighting Bria is nothing to do with you, but the catalyst of the situation, again, it's general social behaviors, right? That in this moment you caused an issue between two people because you ended up putting the washing situation, and it caused an issue. That's all. That's all. It's not even a long one. It's just a guys, I'm so sorry, ladies, I'm so sorry. I know that, I put the thing in the wrong space and I caused this issue. I apologize. You know what I'm saying to you? That's it. And you let them sort out their issue. But the fact that you don't want to do that is kind of petty. And I think it just kind of shows the level of maturity that you need to get to. And I also think it just also, again, it shows you're not very perceptive. And I think I saw that because everyone else saw that Jasmine was pregnant except him. And I said, yeah, because he's not perceptive. He don't pay attention, right? He's not paying attention. He only pays attention to his girlfriend when he recognizes her facial expressions. So there might be something deeper we need to look at with Amir as well. I want to know what his background is, because how are you missing stuff, bro? You know what I mean? How are you missing stuff? That's all I'm going to say.
Well, he got a multicultural background, so it's just too many things coming at him at one time, all the time. I don't know what the heck is. That guy is oblivious to a lot of stuff, but you ain't oblivious to Phil's apology. You ain't oblivious to that. You didn't want to take that as being sincere and all this stuff like that. But you wanted the apology from Phil. You wanted it though. You wanted the people who felt like it was owed or whatever. So what if Phil came back and was like, I don't owe y'all apology? You would be the first one talking about, well, I don't want him here. He don't need to be around. You was ready to get in a physical altercation with Phil behind your boys. Like you said, you protect your boys. So Mariah was wrong in protecting herself and her allergies. And you don't owe her apology because you contributed to the whole altercation. When with Phil, you didn't have nothing to do with it. You bucked up, Phil bucked up. Now, granted, you jumped in because you might have been in defense of Jordan at the time. Commendable. I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a lady going against a man. So you have every right to step in there. However, Phil don't owe you an apology because you jumped in. So that's the same regards here. You feeling like he owes you. You don't owe these ladies an apology because you the one who mixed up and the argument started because of you. The least that you can do is sit there and say, you know what, ladies, I didn't know it was going to go to a physical altercation. That was never my intent. I didn't even intend for y'all to get to an argument. I just goofed up. I hope y'all can find your happy place together, back to each other. I don't owe her nothing. What you mean you don't owe her nothing? No, you're not the reason she got kicked out the house. No, you're not. You're right. But you're the reason that everything transpired between her and Bria. You owe Bria an apology as well. Because you got Bria into an altercation and she really didn't know what was going on. So I just don't understand how he just feels like he don't owe no apology. Hey, Sean, did you get to speak on you dropped off, I think, on Amir and Natalie, and you can segue to Amir and Mariah if you like.
Thanks. I was having some challenges, technical challenges, and then doggy challenges. Abby was overstimulated. See?
Oh, look at her being cute and down. Look at her.
Woo!
Abby was giving you Natalie energy, huh?
Summer energy, boy. When she gets from the groomer, she is overstimulated and super excited. So she was going ballistic. But yeah, no, poor Amir needs to be set free, and he needs to set himself free because there is such an imbalance in that relationship. And it makes sense that he said that's his first serious relationship. So it just seems like he is just overdoing it. He's doing the most with that poor girl. And, I was glad to at least see she said she loved him back. But yeah, I think that it's unfortunate that he just feels like he has to put her on this pedestal, that she doesn't seem to reciprocate the energy for him in terms of wanting him in the same way. Like she likes him, but she doesn't like him anywhere near as much as he likes her. He's talking about marriage. She's talking about them building a business together. Meanwhile, making it very plain that she makes more money than him and that she does luxury and he does regular schmegular. You know, it's like, why you got to put, you know, he does enough putting her on a pedestal. You don't have to overdo it and put yourself on a pedestal. So, you know, really wasn't, you know, a fan of her and their interactions, and he needs to get some self-esteem. You know, it's nothing wrong with liking your woman, but, you know, you got to understand, like, when things are off kilter and you're liking her a whole lot more than she's liking you. And lastly, I would say, you know, I think Amir's a nice guy, so I don't really like the way the rest of the house was just being super mean. And I'm not saying they needed to kiss her butt, but like they were just going out of their way to be rude. Most of them, you know, especially Jordan, you know, not gonna say hello, not even just say hello. It's like, come on, just, you know, we know you may not like her, whatever. Just, you know, just be nice for the sake of being nice to somebody else's, you know, girlfriend and spouse. And then segueing into the Amir, Bria slash what's the woman's name? Mariah thing. I think, like, I kind of see it both ways. Like, yes, Amir should have said something in that moment, like, hey, listen, it was me, I did the whole laundry thing, I understand that, for sure. And he should have owned it immediately, and also after the fact just said, hey, listen, you know, this is what it was. Now, does he owe Mariah an apology? I don't necessarily think so, you know, because Mariah is responsible for Mariah, you know what I mean? So no matter what, you're responsible for your actions, you're responsible for how you react to things. That's on you. So I don't think he necessarily owes her an apology. He owes the whole house an acknowledgement for, hey, listen, I probably was the root cause of this thing going a little bit, you know, awry, but not Mariah, because Mariah is responsible for her. She didn't ask, she assumed. And hey, we all know what happens when you assume. I didn't see any real contrition from her, although Bria did acknowledge that Mariah reached out to her multiple times. So I'm going to take it in that she apologized for Bria for going above and beyond in their reaction. So, my thoughts.
Sean, your bias be showing. You just do not like Mariah. Okay, so we're going to segue to Phil. Do you feel like Phil owed Preston, because he didn't do anything to Preston, but do you think he owed Preston an apology?
Listen, I definitely think he did, because he did something directly to Preston. He was calling him, what did he call him, a punk, or, you know, he called him soft and all of that other stuff. So yes, I think he did owe Preston an apology. I think they resolved it as nice as it's going to be. I still think Phil needs to stay out of the house. I think it's good that they can be social in in these events like this, but I don't necessarily think that he needs to be added to the cast at all, re-added to the cast.
I agree there, but it's funny because at the same time, Amir did something to Mariah. He hit the clothes in there. She's allergic to it, with her clothes. The dog's towels with her clothes. He did something. He owed her an apology.
Oh, if we're apologizing for that, yeah.
That's what the apology is for. It's not about her getting kicked out the house. It's about him being the one who caused the mix-up that started the whole altercation in the first place.
I don't think she wants him to apologize for mixing her clothes in. She wants him to apologize for creating the whole thing. That's where I'm saying, like, hey, you're responsible for you. If he put her clothes in there and she's like, hey, you mixed my clothes in, then yeah, I could agree that he should apologize for that. And also for, I guess undergoing backwards for not saying something in the moment and acknowledging that it was him that did the laundry thing.
Okay. Anyways, now we're on Phil and his apology. Do you gentlemen feel like his apology wasn't sincere to Preston and to the group? Coach, you can go ahead and take it because we heard Sean for a bit.
I think it's just as sincere as it's gonna be for Phil. I think that he handled some of the pushback he was getting well. Amir tried to buck up and insert himself in the scenario and say he's not for bullies and all of this stuff. So I think he took all of that well from what we saw. But I think Phil is who Phil is, and I think you're just gonna get what you're gonna get. So it is what it is with him. I don't think you're gonna get, like certain people, you're just gonna have to accept where they are, and that's where he is, and you just know how the energy that they're on. I don't think he's gonna do a whole full 180-degree turn and be somebody completely different. I think he can realize, hey, listen, I messed up in a major way and I had a consequence, but don't expect Phil to be a Boy Scout.
Gojo.
I mean, listen, it's an interesting one. I think with the Phil situation, right? I definitely feel like he owed him an apology because his behavior was out of pocket. He did try to apologize. I mean, Nick weren't really having it. Amir was obviously spokesperson for everybody else, and he's going to defend everybody else. So, I mean, I appreciate an apology. Like I said, he did it for Preston. It mended fences. He did it to the guys. But I think the damage was done, right? So it didn't matter what he said. The damage was done, and I think what he was looking for was a bit more understanding, because I think once he had apologized, he was trying to explain, like, oh, look, I drank a bit too much, and they were like, drink isn't an excuse, my dog. We're not trying to have this situation, which, again, we say it all the time, drinking is the excuse, right? But I think like he did with Preston on the phone last episode, he's already apologized. He's just trying to explain, like, this is what was happening to me. But again, it is not an excuse. And I think he said that to Preston, but I don't know if he had got the chance to say it to the boys. Because with Preston, he said, listen, it's not an excuse. This is what I did. But like I said, the behavior was a little bit aggressive. And what we see from the rewinds, they were aggressive. And at that point, nobody feels safe. This is what I said about the same thing with Summer. It's like, you don't want to get to a point where no one feels safe in the house with you. And unfortunately, Phil overstepped the line. It got to almost physical perspective, and now people don't feel comfortable with you. So, yes, saying sorry is good. It doesn't reconcile the relationship back to where you want it to be, though. It doesn't guarantee you to have the relationship back to where you want it to be. So, yeah, for me, I personally look in and I go, yeah, I hear you. But, yeah, I get why the guys were a little bit more turned off. I mean, Nick was over it, to be honest. But, yeah, it was unsettable.
Forgive him, but never forget. I mean, the man pooed in somebody's toilet and they refused to let it go. You know what I'm saying? You refused that and whatever. You was in Jordan's face, who dipped out of there as soon as he showed up, like, all right, I ain't got no time for the foolishness, because she ain't about to deal with him anymore. You was about to fight Amir. You've said things about Preston and back and forth, and I don't remember. Alex has a lot of words for you, but I don't remember exactly what went between him and Alex. But you basically rubbed the whole house the wrong way. So the apology really needs to go to the whole house in this case, for sure. Out of anybody, that definitely needs to go to the whole house. But I mean, it's a good start, I guess, to acknowledge where you went wrong. Of course, it doesn't mean that you're going to ever have a friendship with these people again, but at least you could just be cordial in the space with them from going forth. So, yeah. Sorry to that, man. I don't know who they're going to bring in next. They need to bring in some more men, though. They need to bring in some more single people. I'm just saying, we need some more single people up on this show that got a better attitude, like Noel spirit. That needs some more Noel energy up in here, okay? Nice, try to have fun, whatever. There wasn't much else that really happened that was big, so we just get to the part of the Freaknick party and Simon running around here. Of course, that's Bria's man with his shirt all off every 5 seconds, looking like Little Dicky. I was like, look at Simon. One thing Simon gonna do is have him a good time, okay? Every time Simon shows up, Simon gonna have him a good time. So I'm not even mad at Simon, because Bria need that type of energy around her. Because listen, Alex called himself AT Money Bags, and Nick came in as Nickavelli with all the tats. And child, if Shanice did not try to stop hitting on Nick, I said, Shanice, this is a whole. This man got a woman. This man got a woman, Shanice. Don't forget, just because he got the fake tats on him, don't forget that he in a whole relationship now. What is happening? What is happening? See, this is why Amir felt comfortable enough to tell his lady that you was trying to hit on him when that wasn't even the case. And you, even if, we're gonna circle back to that real quick. Even if Shanice was trying to hit on Amir, he was single at the time. I do not understand what that got to do with anything going on right now. Why would you put that information into this crazy woman's head? You know she crazy. I don't know why making people jealous is somewhat of a turn on to some people. I don't get that. I don't get it. But yeah, any parts of the party that stood out to y'all besides the blow up at the end with Summer and them from playing Never Have I Ever? I never known that game to blow up and turn into a whole altercation to a fight back and forth. I never played that. And poor little Noel, she just so naive. She stayed the stuff that she has done.
See, I'm trying to think what else happened on that before anything else kicked off. I'm trying to think. No, I mean, to be honest, I think obviously just the part. Yeah, Shanice was doing a little bit too much. She was definitely saying her inner thoughts. I mean, shoot, she was allowing all her intrusive thoughts come out with Nick. But the funny thing is, she might have fun with him, but she ain't gonna date him. And you know how I knew that? Because the comment she kept on making, she was so excited by the tats and the gangster behavior. I shouldn't say gangster, but just stereotypical. But you know, the stereotypical kind of behavior that comes along with that particular look, right? And then she said it, but then when he opens his mouth, I said, well, okay. Jordan too was like looking with them tats. So it's clear that, you know what, the ladies do like him, but you know what? What sells him down the river is that he doesn't talk or behave in a particular way that they particularly like. So it's interesting to see how they were, you know, the ladies were like, you know, he looks good. They were really invested in his look of the tats and stuff. But in terms of actually dating him, yeah, they're going to keep him there in that friend zone, aren't they? Really? Do you know what I mean? They're going to keep him in that friend zone. He's too nice, too kind, too soft, as they would say. So, yeah, I noticed that too.
Now, Jay, you said Nick has a girlfriend, but where is she? Did we hear an explanation?
They asked about it, was she coming and stuff, and he said, yeah. They asked this episode.
He said she was coming?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what day she coming, but you know,
wouldn't it be for her to come
at the very end of the trip?
The couples weekend? I thought that would be the time for her to come when everybody.
He told her, he like, baby, they got us in these bunk beds. We ain't got no space. You're gonna have to. When one couple leave, we get to switch that room. It's the boom boom room. They got one boom boom room.
Nick is single. He's single. He's single until I see verifiable evidence that he's not, because Nick acts single, he looks single, and couples weekend, he was single. Okay, he was single, and if he would have just choose his words better, he might have got a little something from Shanice, you know, because she seemed like she was definitely open, screaming and yelling, coming to her bed. He was worried about Bria and what does she call it? The comfort sleep or whatever the heck that is called.
What did she call that? Sleep buddy? Like, no, what was that?
Sleep rest. I don't know what the heck she called
it.
Whatever it was.
Sleep support. That's what it was.
Support. Yeah, he was worried about Bria and her sleep support. He should be worried about Shanice, because she wasn't talking about sleep or support. She was talking about SE to the X. Okay. And she was saying it loud, and I took her seriously, you know? So, hey. But I thought I like the Freaknick theme. I like Jordan giving us some education. And Jordan
look
good.
Her look. Woo! The short haircut and the whole outfit.
She could just be just a touch nicer. Woo!
She was giving me Halle Berry and Baps.
Yeah, she looked good. Yeah, I liked her look the best. I think she nailed it. She pulled it off. You know, Mariah looked good too.
Mariah was on par. I said, not this heifer stole her look. Go come in with the short haircut.
Yeah, Mariah looked good. I know y'all say I don't like Mariah. I don't dislike her. I don't know her.
Nah, she
But
did look good with the
I
short
don't
haircut.
know that lady.
Sorry to that lady.
Sorry to that lady. But she looked good too. I think but Jordan, oh my God. Jordan looks so chef's kiss. She really looked good. I like seeing that element of her. I like seeing this side of her, little lighthearted side. Summer's gonna summer. Summer's gonna be winter. Because I'm not sure why she's so agitated. She's so aggy, I think she needs to get balanced because her behavior is coming off a little bit, it has themes of bipolar. That's what I'm gonna say.
I don't know what's in the alcohol that they drinking, but these women be hearing some other stuff when they get drunk. They always talk about, I thought you said something that wasn't never said. This last week it was Bria. This week is Summer. And then she couldn't even say what she thought she said. She was like, she just said something rude. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, why are you always looking to fight somebody? Like, just relax, breathe, just breathe. She's one of those people you wouldn't want to get into a fight with, or like if it was a group scenario, because you'll catch friendly fire. You will definitely catch a stray from her. She seems like she blacks out, and that type of anger / rage is dangerous. I think if anybody that probably needs to go is her until she gets a hold of her anger and her rage, because it's definitely it's not even targeted towards any one particular person. It's like everybody can get it. Her friends, the people she likes, the people she doesn't like. Here we go again. We find out enough. I don't know if we talked about that, but here she goes again, talking about the sex that she had with Alex. I think that was more the beginning of the episode. She had a moment where she's like, should I have told you that he CUM'd me? I'm like, why are you still talking about this? Like, I just need her to get it together. And lastly, Alex was on Watch What Happens Live, and he said that she has another name known as Autumn. So she got a few seasons in her. I just need her to figure it out.
Well, that's what she said is bipolar, because that's what she was given, because literally it was by scene, it was a different Summer. Because at the pool she blows up, and then next thing you know she's agreeing with Bria, and they did it as she kept saying. But then we get upstairs in the room, and she's bringing it back up, talking about, I thought we did it. And then she's mad again. She storms out. She storms back in. They're cool again. Then she storms off again. Then they go get her. They drag her down, sit her down. She's fine. Then one person's laughing over here at something totally different that has nothing to do with her, and she's blowing up again. And that's why I said she wanted that attention, Sean, because she was mad they weren't paying attention. It wasn't about them laughing at, or she thinking they laughing at her. It's y'all not paying attention to me and Bria right now. You're not paying attention to what's going on over here. You're not paying attention to me. And I think that's part of the issues that she is having, is she's not getting the attention that she wants. The abandonment is strong with her. I'm already been abandoned by my mother. Now I'm being abandoned by the person I know as my father, for a person that claims that they don't even want to get to know me and stuff. And then on top of it, it didn't sound like the surgery for her Nana was more than LASIK. That's what it sounded like. She said she was going to be blind for a little while or whatever. So it sounded like it was an eye surgery. But of course, any surgery, you just never know what's going to happen. So I think that is triggering something that she's going to be abandoned again, with the possibility of being abandoned again by the one person that she knows and loves. But sweetie, all of that needs to be talked out on somebody's couch. Like, seriously, you got to get some help, some coaching, some therapy, something in your life, because you're taking it out on the closest people around you or whatnot. And then I noticed the one other thing that was going on in this Freaknick party is Natalie's purpose attempt to be late to a lot of these things or whatnot. I'm like, why are you purposely trying to stall him out? And then be like, if you just want to go down there, go. You know he gonna wait for you. You know he gonna wait. So why are you taking your sweet time to get down here with these people? Go meet his friends. If you plan on being in his life, go meet his friends. Go make yourself a place up in their heart. Like, okay, y'all don't like me, but y'all gonna be around me, so enjoy. Please believe I'm trying to go party. What you come out here for? They keep this man hostage? You should have got your room somewhere else then. Not stay in the house with him and let Nick and his imaginary girlfriend come down. That's Sean pussy. Let his invisible girlfriend come stay in the room. Cause I ain't never seen people that want to be around somebody but don't engage with their friends. I can't stand that energy. I really can't. Don't bring your significant other around and they don't want to engage with us. I think he need to run. I don't know. One last thing before we get out of here, because I know we kind of skipped over it. Sean talked about it just a little bit, but the whole Mariah and Bria back and forth, because for the last few episodes, Bria been going hard. Like, this lady ain't never gave her apology a day in her life, never spoke to her and all this stuff. And we done found out that she done reached out to her on several occasions. And all that big energy Bria been having running around ready to fight everybody in the house for Mariah not to be there wasn't there in Mariah's presence. I didn't expect it to be, but I was like, where's all this energy about her not being here? Now she here. And you're like, oh no, it was Amir. Yeah, it was totally Amir's fault. It's totally. Let's say what? That's your underdog, Sean. What you got to say about her?
You know, I have a soft spot for Bria, although she is highly problematic and I'll never deny it, but I have a soft spot for her. I'm going to always, root for the person that's an underdog sometimes. So I'm rooting for her. Everybody got to have somebody on their side, right? It seems like the world can't stand Bria right now. And look, I'm not blind enough to be like, she's innocent. She's definitely not innocent. But I also know that she's not a fool either, because Bria is just like Milo. He will turn up in Bria's room, but he knows who to test. And she know full well she is not testing Mariah in person, okay? She is not going to test her. She's not. Y'all want her to be stupid too? Y'all want her to be stupid to stand up in front of this lady's face and talk crap? Now, come on, Jay. Mariah will chop her, split her, and put her.
I said she ain't gonna do it. She had that. I know she had that crazy. She ran into the bathroom from Summer.
She wasn't talking tough like, oh, when I see her again, I'm gonna get her. She was just like, I'm not a fan. But sometimes you do. She has that little chihuahua. Although Milo's not a chihuahua, but she got that, chihuahua behavior. They just. Then when you get up close, some chihuahuas, they'll fuss from afar. But you get too close on them, they ducking and hiding. So that's Bria.
Damn, now I wish I had that clip of the dogs with the gate opening and they doing all that barking behind the gate. As soon as the gate open, they just like.
I always tell the story about my mother's house. They used to have, the neighbor had a chihuahua, and that chihuahua was always carrying on. And one day I came home from school when I was younger, obviously. And the chihuahua got out of the gate and he came right up on me. And I took my book bag off like I was going to hit it. The dog was holding his leg and backing up. I was like, I didn't even hit you.
Not the dog that Karen.
Trying to lift it like I was.
The dog put a Karen on you real fast. He's black. He was a black. He was a black Karen.
Call ASPC. Call Peter. I'm being abused. Meanwhile, you trying to nip my ankles. And trust me, after that day, that dog never bothered me again. And I think that's pretty much Bria. And Rhonda, don't get mad at me. I'm not saying I love Bria. I don't love her, but I just feel like it's like you see somebody getting jumped, you're gonna jump in too and beat them up. They're already down on the floor. They're already getting it bad. They need somebody to try to help a little bit, give them some breathing room. So I want to give Bria just a little breathing room, And her chaos always causes an interesting, little situation in the house.
Yeah. Any thoughts on it, Coach, before we get up out of here? No. Yeah. I mean, it was nice. They apologized. We're going to see how it go forward in the next events or two. She can't come to the house, but she can come to the event. So we're going to see how it go.
She can't stay in the house. She came to the house.
Oh, yeah. She was at the house for the party. yeah. Bria a little rolled her eyes at that a little bit too. She was
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. I know I've been in and out with my being my fur parent foolishness. But yeah, I saw two sides. Y'all gonna get on my. Y'all gonna not gonna like me what I say next either. So I saw two sides to the whole Amir and Natalie thing. Listen, if you are rude to me upon arrival, then I'm gonna kind of catch a vibe and I might distance myself too. I'm not gonna say it's right, but I just might do the same. I just might do the same, you know. And I'm a vibe kind of person. And I've already kind of got a little funky vibe. I'm the odd person out, and y'all want to be a little standoffish with me, then and everybody was still a little standoffish and nice, nasty. I'm not saying Natalie's innocent because she's not at all. Natalie has her own personality, but I'm just giving another perspective to this. Is like when you give somebody that at the initial their first meeting, you know, and if I catch a vibe and you're a little rude and it seems like you don't really like me, then I'm not going to continue to be in your space if I don't have to. So I might just give y'all some, you know, give y'all a little distance as well. You know, they participated in the Freaknick activity when it came to the truth or dare. Some people are private people. Maybe they didn't want to get into it. I don't know. That is one other alternative. You know, I think the other part of it is, yes, should she have tried a little bit more? Should Amir should have said, you know what, let's try to give them another chance. Let's try to, you know, be around the, you know, people. This is couples weekend. Let's have a little fun. I think that could have been a possibility too.
agree. Yeah, we didn't have no problem with her. That I said most of it. I know you. I think you were gone when I said that. I said I think some of the attitude for the ladies for her could be something he's saying or the way they see how he has to behave when she's around. And sometimes as friends, we don't like certain things that our friend's significant other be having, some ways they have them act. And just like how he was telling her how Shanice is hitting on him and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I don't recall Shanice hitting on you or whatever. He changes the stories a bit. He could be changing the stories with her to them when they have they little meetings and stuff. And sometimes when we tell our friends things that are going on in our relationship, our friends hold that attitude when we're over it for us. So it's still no excuse for those ladies being rude to her when she first came into the house. However, I can see partially of why they may have been. Now, outside of Summer, I don't really understand why any of them couldn't just go and say hi right off the rip. That's a fact. I don't understand that. But they all kept composure. She did continue to try. She was down there, but I just noticed intentionally she was stalling on a lot of things. She was slowing progress down on leaving to go to Preston's event. She was slowing progress down to go outside to do the thing. So it's like, okay, now you're intentionally just trying to slow him down. For what reason? If it ain't for you, we about to jump in this bed and do a little something before we go out here. Ma'am, get dressed and come on. Now, if you're trying to give him a little something, then, you know, do your thing. Do your thing. While everybody out the house, that would be the best time anyway. That would be the time I'll be trying to get you real quick. Everybody outside playing in the water and having a good time. We'll be out there in a minute. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this lady. He want to marry her though, Sean. Your thoughts on that part real quick.
Yeah, I think that's too soon. I kind of alluded to it earlier when they were in the pool having that conversation. I think he needs to exit the Natalie ship. You know, pretty woman, but it looks very imbalanced. She was hella rude, talking about, you know, the level of real estate he does. Yeah, I think he needs to abandon ship and, you know, stick to being friends. Because that's all it seems like. She's like, we friends with a little bit more, you know? They might be friends with benefits in her mind. Then they're moving in together. That's sticky. I wouldn't do it. But, you know, listen, he loves it. I like it. Go off, bro. You know, I wouldn't want to stand in the way, but I don't, that doesn't look good to me.
Well, he know at least where his hanging fruit will be if he acts up, because he has made it a point to tell us what she would do with that. So he has been warned. That's what he want to go to. Any other thoughts on this episode before we get out of here for the day? Code, you got anything left on it? Anything stands out you want to speak on?
Nah, I think we've hit all the good points, to be honest.
Lord, Abby has been the
Shout out to
star
Summer.
of our panel because they keep screaming in the chat, Abby, 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 like Noel is a star of this show.
Is she dancing around in the background?
No, they just keep saying they wanted to see
They
her.
want to see her?
Yeah.
Abby, come here, mommy.
She got that fresh cut. You know how people get their fresh cut and they show out. They start acting up. Look at her. We see eyes and all. Look at Abby. You got your hanky on, Abby? Looking at Auntie Baby, my little liger. While my panther was over here purring in the background. Sorry, y'all. I thought I was on mute. All right. Sean, hopefully y'all didn't get too drunk off the Incredible Hulk this afternoon, because that's what today's live was based off of, the drink the Incredible Hulk. Okay. Part Alizé or cognac or Hennessy, any cognac of your choosing, part that and part Hypnotic. It is a very tasty drink. That's the only way I can actually enjoy Hennessy. So there's that. But for you Hennessy drinkers out there that act up every time y'all get that brown liquor up in you, you know what I'm saying? We're going to need y'all to slow it down. All right. I don't know if you babies was made out of here off the Freaknick, but that was probably your parents' drink of choice. Tell them calm down. Anything before we go on the last call, Sean? Anything you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, I would say, the drink of choice, is the Incredible Hulk. But, for those, you have to know your limits, right? As a good mixologist and a bartender, right, Jay, you always know when you see your customer's limit and you know when to cut them off. So I think we all have to know our limits, know our boundaries, and know when to say no and when we've had enough.
And last but not least, do not be trying to blame it on the goose on why you got loose and start tearing up the house. Okay, this is an Airbnb, people. You still got to pay for these things. Don't be just acting like production ain't gonna take it out your budget. All right, now, Summer, while we flinging things around the house and stuff. Okay, all right. Anyways, y'all have a happy Tuesday. And before y'all go, please do us a solid favor. Please like both channels on Little Black Book as well as Another Round. We are appreciated here. Those are tips to us. I know it's a small nothing to you guys, but those are big tips to us. And if you haven't done so already, join the memberships. Coach be having members live on the regular. I'm going to do something soon. Don't worry. We're going to get to talking about something soon. Any projects coming up that they need to get aware of, Coach, before we get up out of here? Nothing.
Oh, no.
You still got your coaching going on? Tell them about your coaching.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you want some coaching from the coach, not the therapist, from the coach, then by all means reach out to me. There's a link in the description box. If you go on my channel, you see a description box link on any of my videos. You'll see the Calendly link in there as well. So if you're watching from my channel, there's a Calendly link in the description box as well. So by all means, shout out, reach out to me. We're here to help. And look, it's not free, but we're not charging any set price. So it's whatever you feel the actual coaching is worth, you pay. So if you feel it's worth this amount, you pay that amount. Okay. All right. So we appreciate y'all. Okay. All right. And just a reminder again, I'm not a therapist. I am a coach. And I don't want you to get messed up thinking that. Okay. Book a therapist as well. All right. Appreciate y'all.
Sean, you was about to say something before we get out of here.
Oh, I was just going to remind Coach about his interview.
Oh, yeah. Which is about 15 minutes. Yes, you're absolutely right. We got me and Dominique. We're going to have a chop-up conversation.
He act like he didn't want to talk about that. All right. Okay. Well, there's that.
you know what? My brain. Yeah, listen, we're ready for that interview too. You know what I mean? But, I won't push them too hard, you know what I'm saying? Because we're letting people get off with stuff when they're angry, so... And I ain't stop my pettiness to no bounds. I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy. I'm sorry. I'm in therapy.
It's exiting the body. It's not completely.
It's exiting the body. Like I said, it's exiting the body. It's leaving me. I'm trying it. It's the last parts of the pettiness.
So yes, take y'all a small break, refresh yourselves, get you something to drink, use the bathroom, do what you got to do. We'll meet over at Little Black Book 91 for the interview with Dominique from Never Ever Mets. Okay, it should be an interesting one. Coach is in therapy, so we don't know how hard he's gonna go. But until then, y'all have a great day and enjoy life.
It's just that when we get together, bad things happen and people get hurt.
Yeah, that's the point. It's funny.